What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Elevated Limit podcast show. Today I got two special guests. I don't even call these guests. These are my brothers right here, man. I got Deyvon, a.k.a. Shot by Deyvon. I got my boy Juju
Yes,
in the
sir.
building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My brothers, how we feeling, man? How we feeling today?
Feeling great, bro. Finally glad we get to sit down and do this. Studio, we've been talking to us for a long time. So, I mean, we here, bro.
We here.
Feeling
And
blessed.
I wanted y'all to come on, and we talked about this already, but what I really wanted y'all to come on here is just to, like, talk about your story, right? And before we go into your story, we're a team, right? And I wouldn't be where I'm at. The podcast wouldn't be where it's at today. I think we're almost at 100 subscribers, which is super lit.
We are at 100.
Mhm.
Like
We are?
107 or something.
See, look,
we
Ju
just
on
hit-
top of it.
look,
That's what Ju.
He's on.
He on
Every
it.
day we talk about.
You know what I'm saying?
He keeping track.
I wouldn't be where I'm at without Juwan. I wouldn't be where I'm at without Deyvon handling like all the behind the scenes stuff, the editing of the reels, and just shooting all the stuff and utilizing his gift. So I'm super grateful for you guys. I think a good place to start for this is like talking about how we met, right? And I always like to do that because like first with you, Juwan.
Yeah, y'all start for sure.
Juwan is the first like another set of twin I've ever met. Like you're the first.
You too. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when I first met you, I was like, okay, I never met another twin before. But then Juwan was also, this is gonna be bad funny. I never met another like black person that was so proper in my life. I gotta keep it 1,000, bro. I gotta keep it 1,000, bro. We grew up on the South Side. Nobody talked the way Juwan talked. Juwan was the first person I heard call someone by their last name outside of the school. I said, yo, this is different. This is different.
He grew over it.
Bro, he grew up. So tell me, like, you grew up in Indiana. You obviously your parents raised you the right way with the right mannerisms and stuff like that. But talk about like growing up in Indiana and what that was like for you.
It was great. Life in Indiana was very good.
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
I gotta visit.
So it's fun. I mean, it ain't nothing there, but you know.
Jayla's been like every time I say like, yo, I'm about to go out there. She's like, why would you guys come out here and come see me? I'm just like, because we want to see you.
I mean, it's flat land and white people. I mean, that's all it really is.
So did you grow up? And this is not like a race thing, but I just want to know how you grew up. Did you grow up with like a lot of like in a white like a suburb area? Did you grow up? Okay.
Yeah. Like when I got here, culture shock.
Really?
Culture shock.
So
for
when
me.
you got to Brocco, was that like weird for you?
Super
like
weird.
being around more like
Super
colored
Like, y'all
people.
ghetto.
Bro, honestly, yes. Like I got here and the first person, shout out Tank, but the first person I met was Andrus. And we're sitting there and the teacher was like, yo, Tank, be quiet. He's like, yo, miss, I wasn't even talking. And I'm like, I was like, we're like 11 years old.
Yeah,
this dude's
bro.
snapping back. And like, no one called the teacher like Mrs. Jones or anything. Like, that's where
bro.
I came from and that's what I'm used to. So it was a huge culture shock for me,
Damn,
like
bro.
moving out here. So I had to learn quickly. Like, I didn't know what like weed was. I didn't know what gangs were. I didn't know none of that, bro. I played flag football.
We were corrupting the hell out of Juwan when he first got here. Like, bro, this is what you do. This is how you roll out. It's crazy.
Nah, it really was.
He was going home
but-
feeling guilty. I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, bro. Like, and if you remember, bro, I used to come to middle school with I had glasses, bro. I used to wear like button-up shirts, bro.
bro.
Like I was a little weirdo.
Bro, that's mad funny.
But yeah, man.
And I never told you this, bro. Like, cause you were like, again, you grew up a certain way, and everything was structured, and you grew up good, which is good. But I remember, you used to feel insecure, bro. Cause like when you would come chill at my house, like I never had a set dinner time or anything like that. And I'm like, yo, Jews, like they had a certain time they ate at. Everyone would sit at the table together. They would pray before they eat. I'm just like, bro, my mom cooks at 12, and then like we eat the same thing 3 times a day. So like he's like, bro, when's your mom cooking dinner? I was like, bro, I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. I feel weird, bro. I feel insecure. I never told you that, bro. When growing up, I used to feel insecure when you would come chill at my house. I'm like, oh, it's a little different over here, bro. We're not doing it like that. Because your grandma lived in Fountain Hill. So I remember going over there and like, it's nice up here, bro. Like, y'all eat, y'all pray together. You know, there's a set time, 5 o'clock. Okay, make sure you guys serve each other. I was like, yo, this is cool,
This
bro.
is real.
And honestly, bro, I grew up that way just because like me, my sister, my twin sister, and then my brother, we grew up in church.
Yeah.
So like
I wanna get
since
to
I was
that.
a youngin', like
I
I've
wanna
been
take-
in church. My mom was a Sunday school teacher.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
I used to work the soundboard at church and stuff like that. So like I grew up in church. So I think that's where a lot of my proper mannerisms and all that comes
That
from.
makes a lot of sense, bro. And when we first started hanging out together, and I used to stay over your house, I used to like. I used to be sick sometimes, bro.
My
'cause,
mom was one of
she
those
would-
moms.
She would force us all to go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, bro, we gotta go to church tomorrow. We can't just sleep in. So, bro, that's like literally one of the first times I started going to church out here. When I was going with you and Jayla and your mom, and I was just like,
She'd make if you stayed in my house Saturday night, you were going to church Sunday morning.
was sick, bro. I was sick. And then Deyvon, me and Deyvon, our journey's a little bit different. Like we kind of knew each other growing up. Like we would communicate here and there through social media.
I
But
just
what
remember too. It was
like even middle school, we would
I
like
was
go
gonna
back
say,
and forth a
middle
little
school,
bit.
It just came to my thought when you guys were talking about middle school in Brockwell. I remember when I first came to Bethlehem, Vic was one of my first friends.
Yeah.
And being with the Northeast dudes, you go to the live games, you know what I'm saying? At the Friday night games. And, you know,
Facts.
middle schools to go there with the
The
jerseys.
jerseys on,
we
repping
came
your
across,
squad.
that's how I came across you, Dre,
Yeah, bro, we
Juwan,
was
a
not
lot of y'all.
playing
And I
no
was like,
games.
yo, you know what I'm saying? Everybody had their jerseys on. Vic knew some of y'all already, so he was just like,
Yeah.
yo, you know what I'm saying?
I think he played football with Roland and
Probably
like Freemansburg.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
Something
young
like
boy,
that,
yeah.
yeah.
And I remember he was like, "Oh, Norty, we gonna smash y'all when we see y'all." And then
they did.
They
you know what I'm
cooked
saying?
us.
Yeah,
we were
always
terrible.
cooking, bro. Good Northeast. So then,
I'm gonna give y'all that. Go ahead.
then I remember freshman year, Roberto always gonna deny this.
Yo,
Freshman
don't
year.
start,
Freshman
bro.
year.
Oh
That's
my
how- that's how I really got to know Roberto. Freshman year.
Don't start,
Freshman
bro.
year scrimmage, live freedom. You know what I'm saying?
There we go. We gotta bring up these stories,
Hey,
bro.
Berto at corner.
remember that scrimmage.
Berto at corner. You know what I'm saying? Deyvon line up, run the post corner.
Yo, bro, he's never gonna let this go, bro. Bro, I was wearing the Sharks. I was wearing the Sharks with the rubber bottoms, bro.
I remember
Rubber
that
bottoms.
day.
I slipped before the ball. Once the ball
Nah.
was released, I go to jump, I slip,
Yeah,
and
nah,
he catches it.
You know, see, he slipped because
That's
he
all-
tried to jump with
I
me.
was right there.
Yeah, bro.
Safety. I was right there.
I give you that, bro. You caught it.
Roland, you backed this up too, bro. You remember?
I was still
But
cooking that game. You feel
yeah,
me?
I mean,
Nah, yeah, you did.
that was kind of how
It started.
our mutual friendship started. And then obviously
College,
we went to
bro.
college together.
That's
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
when it really
College,
clicked, bro.
we
Freshman
got-
year,
That's
bro.
when we really like.
Yeah,
got to
I'm
know
saying
each
a
other
lot
in
of
college.
the freedom guys that y'all brought around. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We got closer. Me and bro just got super close. We hit it off right away,
close,
bro.
bro.
From
I felt
freshman
like
year, moving on. We just
Yo,
got
and you know
close.
what's
It just
mad,
happened.
right? And you know what's mad interesting about that too? Like, it felt so natural.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
once
yeah.
we started talking, like since the day I can remember, bro. Like, it almost felt like we knew each other already.
Yeah.
Like really knew each other. Like we were
Yep.
locked in like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like since the moment I started,
right.
since we started, like just becoming friends.
Yeah.
So we get to know each other, and then obviously now, where we're at right now. You know what I mean? Starting this podcast together.
journey.
And it's been, you know what, bro? Like, I'm gonna keep it super 1,000. This is the first time in my life where I feel like I'm on a boat with people rowing the same direction as me, with the same power.
The
as me.
alignment.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never felt like I've always been frustrated with having people on my boat, and I always felt like I was in the back trying to push everybody. You feel
Nah,
what I'm
you really
saying?
have been like that
I
since we were in
always,
middle school.
and I used
though.
to, and it's a me thing. That's a me. That's a problem I have.
Right.
My problem is I expect myself out of other people, and I take full responsibility of that. I take full responsibility of that because what I've learned now is that I gotta accept people for who they truly are, and I gotta allow them to be who they truly are, and I can't expect you to be me. I can't expect you to think the way I think.
You can't be in control all the
I
time
can't,
either.
bro.
Yeah.
And that's a flow I have. And I be thinking,
I see all those traits in us too, which is
Yeah.
why I feel like we're so aligned right now, because like we just relate in that aspect.
and it's a battle I still battle with, bro. But what I'm really saying is though, like with you guys, I don't feel like I have to do that, bro.
Nah.
Yeah.
I feel like, bro, it's
Facts.
just like the boat
Natural,
moving and it's
yeah.
moving fast,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
It's rowing right now.
Yeah,
right?
real.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
rowing, bro. It's rowing.
God did.
God did.
God did.
You know what I mean? Where I really want this conversation to go, and a lot of these conversations moving forward are gonna be God-centered conversations.
Of course.
You feel what I'm saying? Because God is moving, and when something is so good, it's hard not to talk about it.
It's hard.
It's so hard not to talk about it
Yeah,
because when
yeah.
it's so good, I got so much to say, bro. I got so much to
Yeah.
talk about. I got so much what God is doing in my life and how He's speaking to me.
Same.
I just and it just keeps happening, bro. It just keeps happening. So we're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
But I want you guys to kind of get into your story and how you kind of came to Christ. You know what I mean? So I don't know who wants to start first. Deyvon, we could start with you first. Yeah, like kind of how
we
your
talked
journey.
about it before. Yeah, I mean, it basically. I remember my first experience with God was definitely in 6th grade. I remember going to church in 6th grade, and I was in the youth group, and I remember, it's actually with Pastor Beasley. You know what I'm saying? We're much closer with him now.
Goes
And
back
that's
that far?
Yeah, bro. Pastor Beasley used to be a youth pastor, and talking to Beasley, you know what I'm saying, talking about God and stuff like that. I remember I was first saved, and I finally felt like the presence of God.
Wow.
But then as I got older, you know what I'm saying, I've been through a bunch of things. I mean, my main testimony is that I lost my brother the day after Christmas when I was 9, 10 years old. So that's something I've always battled with, because I never understood why our Creator would do that to people. Right. So that was just one thing I always battled. I never understood that. But as I got older, you know what I'm saying, I was able to learn how to cope in different ways.
Right.
Which is something I've always struggled with. I didn't really know how to cope at first, but then I just kind of would just follow, what God will tell me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I would try to listen. But obviously, going through a bunch of things, I think high school and the beginning of college, towards the end of college, I was super depressed, all throughout those years. A lot of people didn't really know that, because I was always quiet, and then I was always trying to make other people happy. I was always there for everybody else. But I was just super depressed just because I couldn't heal from that. And I found ways to cope with it, but then I would kind of cope with them in the wrong ways. I mean, we're not gonna get too deep into that, but you already know. So then,
you could talk about it because and I want this to be a space.
I mean, I can give y'all for sure. For sure.
And it depends. If you don't want your parents knowing certain things, I understand that.
No.
But there are people coping with certain things in certain ways.
Right.
So you talking about it freely will help people, navigate that. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's not that I'm afraid to talk about it. It's just for the sake of time, too. But I guess we can talk about, obviously being introduced to alcohol at an early age, you know what I'm saying, drinking with my friends. That was definitely one of my coping ways. Smoking weed. Those are things that I just felt like it would numb me. Like most people do, it would numb me. It would kind of just take away that pain, obviously. But as I got older, I realized how that just kept pulling me back, pulling me down, and leading me into a dark path. And that allowed me to bottle a lot of things up, because college, for instance, bro, we go out every weekend and we drinking and we smoking. You know what I'm saying?
Bro. Every weekend.
That was just a great way for us to just be around people that we love in college and enjoy being around. You know what I'm saying? And football was another great way too. I'll get into that too, but obviously going out on weekends, that just made you forget about everything. Meanwhile, going back to 6th grade, I got saved by God. But I never really followed that path where I was trying to work on my relationship with God, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially the stigma around going out and partying in college is just we all believe we need to go do that stuff. It's like, hey, we're young, we can drink and smoke. It's okay. Everyone does it.
Yeah. So, that was just one of the things. I guess going into football was just another great way because, you know what I'm saying, you can get mad at practice, get mad in the games, you could just hit people. Right. But then once football went away, when I got hurt, and then I decided to not play the next year. Bro, I was battling a lot of things mentally, just a lot of childhood trauma I was dealing with, just a lot of things that I never really told my parents, my friends, my whoever it was. I was just dealing with it on my own. I'll be in my room just staring out the wall, just mad all the time. And I'm just like, all right, let me go to school. Let me go be around some people so I can get out of this. Mm-hmm. But yeah, bro, and then finally we went into COVID 2020. We were doing school from home, and we finished off senior year in college, and I got into another very dark place in my mind where I just couldn't heal from things. And then God just kept tugging on me and tugging on me and tugging on me, and I was like, you know what? Let me actually tap in. Let me actually do the work this time. So, I was finally listening to sermons, got into the Bible a little bit, listened to my mom because she's always been heavily into God, into church, and actually trying to tune out other things so I could hear His voice, just get rid of those distractions. And I finally hearing His voice, I was like, I'm gonna be saved for real this time. And I finally accepted Him, allow Him to, accept me for what I've done and repent from sins. And I just wanted Him to forgive me. That was the biggest thing. I just wanted Him to forgive me for everything that I've done, for not leaning on Him sooner when I knew He was always there. That's one thing that I have to mention. I knew He was always there, but I was just running from it, just trying to deal with it in my own ways, leaning on my own understanding. But yeah, bro, 2020, I finally decided to just go, fully locked in with having that relationship with him and communicating with him more, to stay closer to him. And, since 2020, obviously, I've been through more things. We all go through things, bro,
Absolutely,
on the daily.
bro.
And my biggest thing I've learned, I was like, I got to stop leaning on my own understanding. Like,
Amen.
I know,
Yeah,
I know
bro.
he's
That's
right
hard,
there, bro. Like, I know I had the relationship with him, and he loves me regardless,
Amen.
too.
Yeah.
But I was just always leaning on my own understanding and trying to be stuck in my own head and figuring things out on my own. And
Right, bro.
really, this